by Soul 33 Teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 23rd of October here in Auckland, New Zealand. Those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere and you're listening to this straight after I have uploaded, it will be Sunday. But it doesn't matter because this is your soul progression lesson for the week. Now, if you're listening to this on the Beacon app, on Spotify, on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, share, tag when you're using the app. Let people know that this platform exists because it really helps me to keep producing new things for you and maintenance of the upkeep of this application. So every time I look at the date, I just think, what is going on? Because things are so fast, like everything is just speeding up really quickly, which you'll have to remember that I've said that because when I get to this week's Monday mantra, it is all relevant. And we are finishing off Navaratri, which is the Divine Feminine Festival over the 9 nights. And so if it is Sunday or Monday, wherever you are, you can finish the 9 Goddesses meditation. It's not part of your homework, but it's a suggestion. It is part of last week's homework. But once the festival is finished on Monday night, on Tuesday, you don't need to do that meditation anymore. It's not that you can't do it whenever you want to. You absolutely can. It's just that when the festival is going on and the energy is directly aligning you with the goddess power, that's always the best time to do things. How are you all feeling? My week last week was good. I was very busy with clients and getting your soul magics and things done and personalized meditations done as well as clients. And, I said the Monday mantra as my wounds were raw, but now they are healing. My wounds were raw, but now they are healing. And what I found for me is that I felt like I was in a raw state all week, meaning uncooked. And I know that sounds very strange, but it literally was like that. And I was picking up old stories and old patterns of wounds that I'd had from years ago coming up and having to talk to myself to remind myself like, okay, this is different now. The timing is different and you've learned more. And I knew that was coming up because it was things that I needed to address while I was seeing clients, because everything that comes up for me is obviously on a collective scale, but I have examples to give you from my personal life so you know how to apply Monday mantras to your own life. And the rawness was from the week before as well. And it is all because we're trying to find our power again. Now, you'll be able to see in the world that power is being misused as it has historically. So what's going on in the world is a reflection of old wounds from years and years ago, all coming up to create new wounds. Whereas those who are on the path, those who are healing themselves, those who are seeking the truth, will be healing rather than creating more wounds. So watching your wounds heal from raw and open and gaping and exposing yourself to the elements of life, the elements of people's words, the elements of triggers. We can't just isolate ourselves completely. I mean, we could, but most of us choose not to do that. It's like we're either going to pour poison or ointment to repair the wound. And with this divine feminine journey that we've been on, each incarnation of Ma Durga, the goddess Durga that we've gone through over the 9 nights, is encompassing every part of us, every part of our feminine as power, our anger, the death, the innocence, the married one, the everything, and I'll go through them in a minute. But from death, birth, anger, and perseverance, we're all trying to find our power again. And I found it fascinating because, Spirit told me to use the word reckless. Now, I saw recklessness. I'm not a reckless person, those of you who know me. But I can be reckless with my words sometimes, not when I'm working, but in my personal life, because we're all human beings that are multifaceted. And so sometimes especially in relationships, I could say something perhaps without thinking and then going, hang on, that was a bit reckless because it's not going to give me the result that I want. It's going to open up the wound again. So where was recklessness coming up? Because I had other healer friends messaging me who are full-time working in this work, doing the spiritual work with clients, saying that they were having to talk to themselves too, going, hang on, do I want to get back with my ex? Do I want to, oh no, I'm not opening that wound again. I'm healing from that wound. So I found it fascinating that I was, opening up wounds for healing with clients also. Like I had a client last week, and I don't remember who this was, but I saw a past life where they were with their brother, and the brother had a disease or an injury, I can't remember, and there was a horse related to that. And the client was like, well, my brother actually has a horse related injury now, like a head injury. And it was like these old past life wounds being opened up, because later on, when the client was giving me more context, her and the brother weren't actually on speaking terms for many years, etc. So I could see how wounds were being opened, but then also beginning to heal. Whereas the recklessness that's going on in the world, reckless is probably not the strongest word we can use, but it's the word that was given to me by Spirit to put in the Monday mantra for you. So we were being made to discern last week if we're acting from a place of being too attached to something or someone and just wanting an outcome for the sake of it. I totally saw this in my personal life. I saw how I had to go back going, hang on, I'm being too attached here when I'm looking for an outcome rather than the process of healing, because I just want a response immediately. And so that can be my impatience that comes in sometimes. Seeds have been and are growing naturally for those of us who are in and on the path of harmony and intimacy. And we are reconciling. Some people in the world not reconciling in very good ways, but it is that energy underneath everyone's motivation, trying to reconcile for what you've done to me. I'm getting you back. Or it can be I'm reconciling with what has happened so that I can heal and understand what it is that I'm trying to do to get that harmony and intimacy back. And you can apply that to relationships or whatever. And, we all want to be, why we sometimes stay in that victim energy is because we want someone to acknowledge our pain. Look, no, I know that we can sometimes say that someone made me feel that way and they put me through this. And sure, that can be true. Someone can really use you or mistreat you or not consider you. But regardless of the situation, we want to be appreciated for the wounds that we have. Like, I've gone through this. Can you just acknowledge me? Because when we feel like we've been betrayed somehow, the wound hasn't been acknowledged, and it can be hard to heal, like the war going on if we look at the root cause of that. If you are feeling betrayed or this has been triggered, these are the questions that you need to ask yourself, and still do, because remember, those of you who are listening to Monday Mantras religiously know that they all tell a story. One thing leads to another. They're not in isolation of each other. If you're not wanting or allowing yourself to let go, are you sabotaging your growth by being too attached to victim energy? Or is this still a current issue that needs to be addressed? There's plenty of possibilities to heal old wounds, but you have to want to do that and be prepared to not have walls up so that you can address what's at the root of it and see how you can be better and do better. Knowing yourself, and this is why through soul progression therapy, when I work with clients, whether it's once or whether it's 100 times, different layers come up, because we can go back, what feels like backwards sometimes. Oh my God, I thought I worked through that. But then you're bringing this up from 500 years ago, because it's still there. It still exists. That wound is not just a wound from this lifetime. I'm talking about wounds that have been inflicted on our experiences through many lifetimes. The seeds that have been planted are beginning to grow. But remember, if you don't like what you're seeing, it's time to speak up, Time to say something, even if it seems like it's falling on deaf ears. But this is not from a place of destruction, okay? This is from a place of empowered. My wounds were raw, but now I'm healing. As we moved through the week, we went through all the different goddesses. Goddess Brahmacharini, she is the one that traveled a spiritual journey for thousands of years. She was a devout student, disciplined in her spiritual practice. And so this is something that we need to constantly be working on so that we can reach this place of not being attached, reach this place of understanding what it means to heal. Not about controlling, but about knowing when your ego and fear is keeping you where you are, and acknowledging that your mind may be preventing you to see that you can be free. We can be free. It's just that we persecute ourselves and persecute others. And the day one was goddess Shailaputri, which is the goddess of the mountains. So Nandi and Shailaputri was a very good meditation to do. We've got a couple of those on the app. And she was, trusting the journey from the beginning of new intentions, what's our heart desires, courage and honoring the truth. So then she moved into being Brahmacharini, who was the one that's the devout student. So it's like you start off on the journey, you become the devout student, and then you move into goddess Chandraganta, which is, she's very brave. You have to be brave on the journey. And I felt she rides a tiger or a lion, and every time I was meditating last week, I felt the tiger. She'd sent her tiger to me, not just on that day, but the tiger was just roaming around me to protect me. And, Chandraganta, she could tame her tiger or lion, depending on how she's depicted. And she could dispel sorrow and embrace the divine feminine strength. She comes with the 10 arms, carrying all the different, the tridents and the kandamalu and the gantha and the lotus. And she's prepared and strong within herself for all of life experiences, which is what we're doing here on the app. And as we moved in during the week and I pulled a card, a new direction came up. And that's because there is a new road for us to veer off onto. So it's not a road that is just being created. It's like we're walking on our path and suddenly we get to veer to the left, we get to veer to the right. And so this card of a new direction came up for us to remember that when we're choosing what we want, we need to slow down. We need to slow down, because if you're getting too far ahead, we can't see what it is that we're wanting to choose. We can't look to the future if we don't pick a direction now. Often people will ask questions like, what's my purpose? That's not a quick fix answer. There will be a general answer, general guidance, but the rest of it is having the courage, having the devout perseverance to be able to figure that out. Using your discernment. Your direction might also be within yourself, an energy protection like the shell of an egg holding you in place. So the focus you have will guide you in the right direction for your rebirth. So that energy coming into your egg to be able to be birthed into the world. And then we had the cosmic egg energy that day, which was day 4. And that was about creating a world from nothing. And that's what we do, really, isn't it? We come into the world as, we're not nothing because we have all of these experiences from lifetimes before. Souls are not nothing. They come with information. They come with history. But we are able to undo that and the bits that we don't want and pull in the parts that we do. You are the creator, and her energy, the cosmic egg energy through goddess Kushmanda, is supporting our desires and destiny. Then we had goddess Skandamata. Now, as goddess Skandamata, she can handle all of life in the face of events. She has wisdom, but she's also very practical, and she holds Skanda, who has 6 faces representing earth, water, fire, air, the ether, united with pure Shakti, pure consciousness. She has the power of a mother. Then moving on to goddess Katyayani. She's fierce, and her anger, she uses her anger to be able to be a wonderful source of energy. And that's what I love about anger, is that it's not necessarily destructive. It can be converted into this power to change, this power to learn, this power to be wise. Turning a wound into power means using all of the energy that could have destroyed you to create you. I've talked to myself a lot in this last week, writing, releasing anger and frustration to give myself energy and a shift in power that I'd given to old patterns of thinking. Sabotage and recklessness, they are in the air at the moment for the collective, and I'm sure you can see it happening in the world, as I've mentioned. And as I saw one client after the other, the wound started to heal in myself, because this is my job. This is what I brought to earth to do. Harmony was being restored, and we went back to our true, knowing that everything is one. Old wounds have been coming up to transform and create a new direction with the divine feminine that can use destruction to create. And day 7, goddess Kalratri, she's frightening looking with her dark blue skin, and she's literally meaning her name Kalratri is meaning time and death at night or in the dark. Now, as we transition this week for the new direction, and new parts of us are being transformed, and her symbolism is destroying all the fears, a death of sorts. We tell ourselves all sorts of things, and we create all kinds of barriers. And day 8, the goddess Mahagauri, she's about direction and movement, bringing us to be in a place of freedom to move. She's got inner beauty, but she also knows how to create outer beauty, which is a good energy to remember, because, this particular goddess, and the last one, which I'm going to mention now, is coming into this week's Monday mantra, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. And obviously the last goddess, day 9 of the Divine Feminine Festival of Navaratri, is goddess Siddhartri. Now, goddess Siddhartri, she sits on the lotus, bestowing her devotees with supernatural gifts to understand their journey and have wisdom. The who I am, which is what I am, and our connection to each other. And so this is the mega spiritual goddess. And, it's been a really big week of energy for a lot of people, and a lot of people are suffering in the world, but we are here. We, as we heal ourselves, heal everybody else. And I know that, because as I help people heal, I'm healing myself, and then it reverberates on. Remember, I'm always here for you. I know I'm only one person, and so you just need to bear with me. And any time you see me will be the right time, even if you're waiting for a period of time. The easiest and fastest way to see me is in person now, but if you're happy to wait, Kieran is the person to ask, and be on the wait list for Zooms. If you're a regular client, please don't think I've forgotten you. I haven't at all. It's just that we will be scheduling you in based on how I feel, because I need to be able to give you my all. And if I've seen one client that has me out for a couple of days, I need to wait to know that I'm going to be okay to help you. But the app is here. It's only $60 per year, which is significantly less than your traditional meditation apps. Obviously, this is very different from a traditional meditation app, because I am here teaching you every week and setting your homework and guiding you. Those of you who are on the app for the first time and you don't know where to start with the homework. That's why I set homework every week. It's not that you have to follow it exactly, but it's also like a starting point. And if you haven't been on the app for a while and you come back on, oh, hang on, I'll start with the homework. And then obviously you've got lots of other meditations to do, one every night, whatever resonates. You can search for your meditations in the app. You can save them on a favorite list. You can save them on a playlist. And yes, the introduction is at the start of each meditation. This is because I have every single track that I use for the meditations licensed, and it requires me to state what it's licensed for at the beginning so that I don't get sued. But what that will help you with is that if you're someone that's training themselves to meditate for a longer period of time, if you have them saved to your playlist, you can stretch your legs in between before the next meditation starts. And that's how I actually trained myself to meditate longer, is that I'd have a tiny wee break in the middle, but just keep going. So Kieran is the person to ask if you need the link to renew your app subscription or become a member. We keep that off the main app platform so that I can keep the app subscription fee at a nominal rate. Otherwise, I'd have to put it way, almost double or triple it. Probably more than that, because at least triple it actually, because the platforms take such a huge percentage. Okay, Kieran's email, soul33@gmail.com, and don't forget to tag, share, pull a card every day, pull a card every week, listen to the messages and remind yourself of what you need to know. Going into this week, your Monday mantra is, I'm prepared to let go and be in the present. I'm prepared to let go and be in the present. The Divine Feminine Festival coming to a close, and so are old chapters that are asking us to let go. It's been too long that we've worked against each other or just on our own, trying to protect ourselves so much that we're just on our own. Even when we're in relationships, we can be protected. I can feel that with certain people when I work on them. And I too, years ago, have been in that state of I can't trust. I have to protect myself, even being in a relationship. It's time for teamwork and collaboration a little bit more than usual this week. Now, remember, your team could be spirit. It could be people you're asking to help you. It could be whatever it is. But things are beginning to happen in our lives where we will need people to be able to flourish as individuals too. There is a particular focus on being in the present. This is something we all struggle with. We're either, like last week, wounds from the past, raw and healing, living in the past, and we're also looking to the future. Oh my God, is that going to happen again? I'm so worried that there's so many different scenarios that could take place. So we're being asked, this is something so those of you, someone had written that they copy and paste the Monday mantra onto their homepage on their phone somehow so they can read it every day. And just remember those words, bringing myself back to the present, being grounded in where we are and what we are doing. So when you're doing things this week, stop. Like if you're brushing your hair, okay, I'm brushing my hair right now. I'm brushing my teeth right now. I'm mopping the floor right now, rather than mopping the floor and thinking about 10 other things, even though you probably need to because you've got so many things to do. But coming back to the present moment, and not resistant because of past traumas and worrying of what it would be like in the future or if things are going to repeat in the future. Your power this week comes by understanding what is in front of you now, okay? And now I'm going to have to remember this too. Be in a space of serenity. Enjoy whatever natural beauty you can. Put yourself at ease, Spirit says. Things will still move quickly, but we need to catch up to the now before anything else can happen. So do you know what visual Spirit was showing me as I was saying that? You know those videos that you can sometimes see on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, where there's a person stationary in the video and their hair is blowing in the wind, but the people walking behind them and in front of them are all sped up? That's what the visual is around what I said about being in a space of serenity. We have another eclipse this week, and this is a full moon lunar eclipse. This will take care of the energy and chapters that need to close. Staying still will close them. Okay, so not moving quickly because things are moving around us quickly. And being a full moon, it is a releasing time, so it can be asking you to question how you're going to receive stability and security, and that's by receiving help and being in the present and accepting any endings as a resolution. It's becoming resolute for your highest good. So there's a lot there to think about. The way you listen to your Monday mantras is read it, listen on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, remind yourself. Even I remind myself sometimes because I forget what Spirit has taught us. But your Monday mantra is, I'm prepared to let go and be in the present. I'm prepared to let go and be in the present. Remember, any help that you need, personalized meditations are just a wonderful way for you to connect with me, to heal in your own time. They take me quite a while to create. For those of you who have them, you will know why. But I infuse energy into them, so you're literally getting an energy shift at the same time. So any help that you need, Karen is the person to ask, soul33@gmail.com. Be in the present. You're aiming for serenity and ease.